There, everybody. Hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are in the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to wherever you're watching this from. And this is going to be a small talk on does it get easier? Or, in other words, an answer to the question, does it get any easier? Well, I'd like to say with my hopeful thinking and hopeful perspective that it would, but I do believe that life in itself will not get any easier. When that is apparent for when you grow up and life from there onwards. The older you get, the more responsibilities you have, the more complications you'll have, the more problems and issues you'll have, not just externally, but internally as well. You're going to be dealing with a ton of self doubt, hatred, so much resentment and regret and heartache and losses. So yeah, it's a very grim outlook, but that seems to be how reality seems to be playing out, at least from my perspective, you know. And that brings some truth to the notion cruel reality, it's because when you grow up you become more aware, that the world is not as pretty as we would like it to be. People are not that, I would say kind in and of itself as we expect them to be. And it's a shame, honestly, to say, but the thing is, that's the truth. Some experiences, they're not gonna be just all rainbows and sunshines. Even the relationships that you have right now may go through trials and tribulations that may, break it or cause a space in between or a void in between, and it gets really tough to overcome it. But the only answer that I can say is that it doesn't get easier, it gets a lot more difficult. And that's why we have to grow, we have to learn, we have to become more wiser, and we have to become more stronger altogether because it'll only get tough from here. And the way I like to think about it is because, that's how I like to think about it, and that's how I like to believe it personally. Because, personally for me, I feel like it's much more easier for me to deal with bad things or hardships or problems or negativity if I expect it or if I'm, predicting it will happen, and it does, rather than me having a hopeful fantasy and, having that belief or having that fantasy collapse before my very eyes because I was not prepared for the harshness and cruelty that was about to be inflicted upon me. And yeah, that's pretty much what I would say in terms of that. And at the end of the day, I guess on a hopeful note, what we can do is, as a wise man once said, prepare for the worst, but hope for the best. Because at least if you prepare for the worst, I mean, if bad things were to arise and trials and tribulations were to arise, you're ready for it. You're not blindsided by any hopeful light or, misled by any, hopeful fantasy or whimsical outcome. You're expecting it, but you're not also going to be, shocked or something, or shocked or, gobsmacked when it works out because you're hoping for the best. So it's just all about maintaining a healthy balance between the two, just trying to keep it, together, all in a sense. I mean, it's difficult, but it's something we have to do. We have to grow stronger because the world is just gonna get tougher from here on out. And who knows, maybe at the end of the road, or maybe down the line, you might find a hopeful stride or a hopeful upward, growth towards your life, and yeah, it'll become better. But yeah, just be prepared, build that strength so that you can overcome, persevere, and grow into the person you were meant to be. But yeah, that's all for this talk, guys. Hope you have a great day ahead. Take care.